Forrester turns around back to Sims on the flea flicker. Sims is looking way downfield. He's got to receive it. Complete. Down to the 10. 5. Touchdown, I believe. And nothing on mark at the 1.
All right. Hey, everyone. I am so fired up today to be talking with a guy who I truly admire, Phil McConkey, naval officer, helicopter pilot, NFL star with 4 different teams, and now president of Academy Security. They're a San Diego-based investment bank, and he runs that with some other military academy grads. Growing up in New York in the 80s, let me tell you, me and my buddies loved cheering you on, Phil, and watching you absolutely dominate in that huge victory over the Broncos in '87 Super Bowl. That Giant team with you at wide receiver, returning punts and kickoffs was so exciting and fun to watch. So, Phil, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat today, to share your inspiring story and your journey from serving in the military to excelling in the civilian world. Really appreciate that.
Jordy, it's good to be with you. I think some of our interests are aligned, and the main goal here with what you're doing, what we do at Academy Securities, is to help transitioning veterans get a leg up in their next career.
Yeah, that's why I reached out to you. And do you mind starting out just telling everybody a little bit about your military experience in the Navy, what you learned from it, and maybe how it paved the way for you to achieve success when you got out?
Yeah, I think for me, and I'm going through this process with my daughter. She's 17. She's doing the whole college application, and it just can't help but bring me back to a long time ago when I was coming out of high school. We had no money for college back then, and if I didn't get a football scholarship, I wasn't going to college probably, or I'd have to have extreme measures to get through college. And it came down to a couple service academies, and I got to Annapolis. I was 145 pounds, and had a great experience there. Not only playing football, but being a midshipman and graduating, and going 5 years active duty in the Navy. I was a helicopter pilot, flew off ships, extremely rewarding. But I think the parallels with the military and sports are identical, right? You're part of a team in the military. You're part of a team, in football. And the people that excel are ones that, and all the veterans get this, everybody that's watching and listening, understand that what motivated me, what I'm sure motivates all of us, is that you want to be part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Right. The camaraderie, because you can do more if it's for someone else than just for yourself. Right. If you think about that, you can put out more effort. You could try harder. You could run faster. You can, do more things if the person or persons beside you are dependent upon you, rather than if it's just yourself. Because it's a lot easier to quit or give up or not put in as much effort if it's just you.
Yeah. Others are.
Right? I'm 63 and I still run sprints and I still go out on a track. I'm telling you, my workouts with other people my age, there are a few other kind of crazy people my age that are still doing this, are much better. I put forth more. There's more effort. I have more quality workouts when I'm doing with some other people than when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the big thing about the military, and people that serve understand that, and that's what motivates them. Now, translating that from the military to the private sector or civilian life, if they can just take what I did over here, on that part of it, being part of a team, because everything you do in civilian life, on the public sector, the private sector, in corporations or companies, large or small, it's all about teamwork. Nobody can get anything done, without working cohesively as a team. Who better to know about those qualities than a military veteran?
Absolutely. When you left the military, I believe you were 27. I read 158 pounds, so you gained a little bit from the time you got in, but you did not come from a traditional powerhouse feeder school like Notre Dame or Alabama or Nebraska. No. You hadn't played ball in 5 years. I can't imagine the NFL scouts were like knocking down your door. And like, how did you deal with all the naysayers, all that adversity, and telling you were crazy to pursue the dream of playing in the NFL? How did you deal with that?
great question. Before I get to that, the way I got there, because you're right, nobody was beating my doors down, but Bill Belichick's father, Steve, was an assistant at Navy for 4 or 5 decades, assistant coach. So I went to him when I was looking to, get out, along with one of my best friends whose dad was an NFL coach, a Naval Academy best friend. That's how I first got my look with the Giants, because Bill Belichick just became the defensive coordinator. Parcells just got elevated to head coach. That was the route that I took. But, I think, again, 27 years old, 158 pounds, and hadn't played football in 5 years, I basically had no chance, right? There were 120 something guys. They took the training camp. There were 13 or 14 wide receivers. They're going to keep 4, maybe 5. I mean, I've got no chance at all. It was just one of kind of believing in yourself and, putting forth every iota of energy that you had, towards a goal, trying to overcome. Not only did I have to stop the aging process, I had to kind of find a way to reverse the aging process. So, I think, my military training, my ability to understand that I was part of something a lot bigger than myself, were things and qualities that help propel me and give me the energy and the confidence, right, to achieve this monumental goal. And again, we're talking to military veterans here who are looking to transition, and there's trepidation, right? I've known this military thing for however long, and now I'm going to do something different. But I'd like to tell each and every one of them that they have within them, the ability to listen. When you start comparing, right, what happens in the military versus civilian life. All the military veterans watching know of the extremely dangerous positions and jobs that they held in the military.
Yeah.
Life and death matters, right? Now, think about the business we're in, financial services. Okay. Do you know one of the hardest things in our business? Hardest thing by far. It's making a cold call, right? A cold call is picking up the phone, dialing a number of somebody that doesn't know you or your company. Hello, Mr. So-and-so. I'm Phil McConkey from Academy Securities. I would like to introduce our firm. A lot of times they just hang up on you, tell you where to go, or they're not interested. To be good at it, you got to be persistent, and you can't take rejection. So think about that. This versus, I don't know, diving underwater and placing a bomb or defusing a bomb off a ship, or standing watch on a carrier at night, or an infantry person doing some. This pales in comparison to what veterans have done and are doing. So my message to them is, man, you're a badass. I'm in awe of you. Be in awe of yourself. Understand that you can overcome anything in civilian life because of your experiences in the military.
Talk a little bit about why it's so important to choose a career path that's meaningful to you, that excites you, that stirs that passion, just like the way you went after football. No matter what someone chooses, why is it so important to pick something that's gonna get you excited to get out of bed every day and go for it?
I think it's important because I've never worked a day in my life. I've had a passion, a love for everything I've ever done, right? Whether it was the military, it was football, what I'm doing now in financial services, getting to work next to, incredible young heroes and watch them develop in their careers, add value to our customers. So when you have a passion for something, it's not work. I understand that there are instances and times when people need to pay bills. You got a family and you got to put a roof over your head. You've got to buy food. And sometimes you have to do things that you may not want to do. As my father worked 3 jobs as a young man when I was a kid, my family, and just to put food on the table. He didn't like those jobs, but then he unfortunately was stuck in it for a few decades just to take care of us, and that's tough. But I think when you come out of the military, there are skills that you have that you could find similar type opportunities in the civilian world, to where you can be doing things that you love to do. and look, it's not all wine and roses all the time, on this planet for any of us. But there are always hard times. But I understand the hard times our veterans have gone through, and again, the civilian side of it pales in comparison to what they did in the military. So I
Yeah,
encourage everybody to go after their dream and chase it and go be whatever you want to be.
that's good advice. Um, we deal with so many civilian business owners and VPs and HR directors, people who didn't serve but are in positions now of hiring. Can you talk to them a little bit about what a veteran brings to their company?
Yeah, besides the most obvious, teamwork, right? You don't do anything in the military unless you work with a team. Same thing in civilian life. The pressure. You think about the pressure that military veterans are under. Hey, picking up this phone to do a cold call or any other position or job on the civilian side, nobody's shooting at you. You're not in harm's way. You're in a comfortable chair or driving a nice vehicle or nobody's shooting at you.
Yeah.
I mean, so Mr. Mrs. Employer, when you're looking to hire somebody, I mean, I'm going to take these people that were in harm's way, that performed under duress and under insurmountable amounts of pressure. Don't we all want people on our team that can handle pressure, right? Military veterans lived it day in and day out. Doesn't even compare.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to demean anybody that's not served ever, because there are unbelievably, incredibly people, but to get corporations and companies, municipalities, hire employers to really understand the value of veteran, it's incredible. You look at our society, and I think it's changing now. When I was a kid, and you looked in Congress and in the Senate, you saw a good percentage of those elected members, military veterans.
Yeah.
Right? Taking care of our veterans because they were there.
Should be
And then, after Vietnam, there were some skirmishes and it kind of subsided.
Yeah.
You go right now, you look in the halls of Congress and in the Senate. I mean, you count on one hand. It's just not there.
Should be required.
I think it's changing now because of the Iraq-Afghanistan war.
Right.
More of those veterans are starting to ascend on the political side. So, I hope we bring those numbers back up and have more military veterans making our laws.
Yeah.
That ultimately would help, our heroes that sacrifice so much.
Absolutely. What do you like to do in your free time when you're not working? I know you're still running and
well, it's not work. It's never work. It's 24/7 building a business and helping veterans. And, I still get on the track. I've never stopped training. I'm 63 going on 13 in my head. I'm a skinny kid from the west side of Buffalo with something to prove. And that's never changed, right? The hair's gray and the skin's getting loose, but inside I'm still a competitor and I'm still a kid with something to prove. So that's how I wake up every day. And I thought it would change at this point. I thought I'd start kicking back. It's not.
Hey, good for you. I hope it never, that fire never stops in you.
Yeah.
Phil, I can't thank you enough for everything you do for the military community, for your passion, for helping your fellow veterans, and for taking some time to share your story today with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, Jordy, right back at you. You guys are doing a great job there too, and happy to be helpful. And the last word again is to these veterans, man, believe in yourself, go chase it, go give it everything you got.